I'm going live. Hello, my name is Robin Da Vinci, and I've done several videos. And I am here today to talk about how to save money or how to spend less when you have a low income. And we've all, well, millions of us have suffered a little bit of a setback during the last 20 months. And so it's much harder for us to understand how to keep our spending in check and what to do. Human nature, that's what we have to deal with. Human nature is very likely to rise to the level of our income. So let's say you and your spouse, you and your partner, or you by yourself, or your family is doing very well. And so you have this level of spending. You've bought a house, you bought a new car, you are in school, you have tuition, you have some extras that you never had before, and then all of a sudden you experience a reversal. Or you just haven't gotten yourself into a place where your income can meet your needs. There's so many things that go wrong with this. It happens all the time. You haven't done anything wrong. It's just that it happens. And so when we get to this level of spending, or we want to get to this level of spending, it's very hard to either put the brakes on it or to figure out what the hell we're doing. And it's very, very common for us all of a sudden to find ourselves in a place with less income, but our spending is still high. And people go, well, what do you do? And one of the tragedies is that we think we're going to turn this around quickly, so we don't put the brakes on anything. We don't stop ourselves. We don't say, oh, what can I do? Oh, I'm going to come out of this in 3 months, so I'll just put it on my credit card, or I'll just spend it now and I'll pay for it later. No, 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 no. Having it now and paying for it later is what has gotten this country into the mess it's in. You cannot buy now and pay later for the rest of your life. I mean, people will, and they'll say, oh, I did it, or I got out of it, or whatever, but it really comes back to strangle you. So the first thing you have to do, and I'm going to give you real tips that you need to put into practice right now. If you're watching this video, say, okay, Robin, I'm going to trust you. You've been around all these years. You're in accounting. You've got this. Let's hear what you say. Stop with the cash. It is so easy to just run out and get cash out of your ATM. So you go get cash out of your ATM. You look at the bank balance. You say, oh, I've got enough to take this $200 or this $100. And indeed, you don't realize that there might be a car payment coming out, an insurance payment coming out, and you're actually reducing the cash in your account by taking this cash. And then adding to that, you don't track how you spent the cash. You go about your business, and for 3 days, that $200, you're using it. You're not keeping track of how you're spending it. And then at the end of the time, you don't have the cash and you don't have the money for a bill that's coming out of your account, or you don't have enough to send a check, or however you handle your finances. So stop going to the ATM. End of story. Don't go. Don't keep putting your debit card that depletes your checking account out there for $6 coffees and things like that. Guess what? You're going to have to make your coffee at home and drink it, put it in a thermos, put in a little milk, a little sugar, a little caramel, whatever you like, a little, Hershey's chocolate, whatever it is you put in your coffee, and make it at home. Start getting up earlier, making your coffee, which brings me to groceries. How many of you eat out? You eat out too much. And that is a real problem. You cannot eat out so often. If you bought your own groceries and you end up cooking for yourself, you might end up finding that those things you're cooking last for 2 meals. Make it at night, a whole chicken, cut it up, rice, salad. You've got lunch for tomorrow at work, or you have dinner for tomorrow night, or you have sandwiches for your kids. No one's grocery shopping. And I know grocery shopping is expensive. I know groceries are expensive, but take the time to sit down and do a meal plan. That's what grocery shopping was about a long time ago. because people had ice boxes, if you can believe it. They had to plan out their meals for every day or every 2 days because the ice would melt and keep nothing cold. The days with freezers and refrigerators, people have tons of stuff stuck in the refrigerator, stuffed in everywhere, and they don't eat it. They go out for fast food, they go out to a restaurant, they leave a big tip. Do you know if you make your own meal, you don't have to tip anybody? Hey, savings right there. Plan your meals. Get roasting chickens and a pack of pork chops, cook them, slice them up, eat one for dinner, slice them up, make fajitas the next day, or wrap them in a burrito. Groceries are a big expense. Meals are a big expense. Stop going out, start creating meals that will feed your family and then feed them again. Buy a bag of baked potatoes. Not baked, they're not baked yet. Buy a bag of potatoes, bake them, put them in the refrigerator, take them out for a snack, put salsa on it, put avocado on it, sprinkle a little bit of cheese. That can be a meal with a slice of meat or a salad. You don't have to keep going out and spending that money. If you look at your meal bills, you will see that you're spending too much eating out. And if you're going to the ATM, grabbing $200 in cash, and then going through drive-throughs, you're double spending. You're really making it hard on yourself to save any money or to at least keep money in your pocket. Utilities. Let's talk about utilities. Turn lights off. Don't run the air conditioning unless you really need to. Keep it at a higher temperature for both air and heat. Lower it before the heater goes on, raise it up before the air will go on. Keep your house window shut. Do some things. Just be mindful of not running your water constantly, like when you're brushing your teeth. Take shorter showers. And you say, Robin, I don't want to do any of this. I'm 48 years old and I'm sick of doing that stuff. I'm sorry. I know I was in that position. I had a reversal of fortune many years ago, and I had to go back to the basics. Back to the basics works. So no cash at the ATM unless it's an emergency. Do not go out spending that cash on things and not knowing where it goes. Stop going out to eat so much. Everybody goes out to eat. I don't want restaurants to fail. I don't want anybody's business to fail, but go out to eat less. Eat at home. If you have no problem with spending money and you've got money, galore, okay. But if you're really struggling, eating out is one of your biggest fails. You will find yourself spending way too much money. Um, no extra purchases. So we're talking about ATM cash, talking about using our debit card for frivolous things. And you may say, I've earned the right. I've earned the right to have a $7 coffee every day. Okay. But that's an emotional response to a practical situation. If you're emotionally spending because you say you deserve it, then we've got a deeper problem. It's like going and getting a mani and pedi when you really need to put that toward your child's braces. Sure, you deserve a mani-pedi or a massage. Of course, you deserve to go to a football game. Of course, you deserve hot dogs and beer and sitting with your friends. Nobody's talking about what you deserve. You absolutely deserve all those things, but it's not practical. And when we have to be practical, people fight with each other. They don't like being practical. They want to do what they want to do. So you want to spend your cash, you want to use your debit card for your $7 coffee, you want to buy groceries or go out to eat. You don't want to plan anything. And, I'm going to run my water if I want to, or I'm going to, if I want my air conditioning at 68, I'm going to leave it there. All of those things are emotional responses to practical things. You're really, really sabotaging yourself. You're really making it hard on yourself. Also, no extra purchases. Here's the problem with having your credit card online everywhere. You go and you click on something you want. There you go. You click and it's there and it says, "Do you want to use that credit card?" And you say yes. You say purchase, it's done. You've spent less than a minute thinking about it, and all of a sudden you've got this purchase. And you go, "Oh, I'll just return it." Most people don't do that. They don't return it, they keep it. They've spent the money, they don't need the item, and we're in up a creek without a paddle. Take your credit card off those websites. If you have to stand up, go to a wallet, or go to someplace where your information is saved and go find the credit card and enter it manually and stuff like that, anything that puts time between this snap decision to buy something and your ability to buy it, that's when it works. It works to stop spending. It works to curb your spending a little bit. If all that information is available all the time, you're doing the buy it now and pay for it later. And before you know it, your credit card's at its max. Your credit score is affected by it, and you are miserable because you say, I'm drowning in credit card debt, or I have all these things in my closet I don't need. So, this is a really practical video and I want to go over it with you. First thing you do is you start to plan, and you have to get everybody in your house on board, or you have to let those closest to you know that you're stepping back from spending because you have a little bit of a cash flow problem or a big cash flow problem. People are so embarrassed to admit they have money problems, and because people will point at them and possibly accuse them, or you feel pressure to keep up with everybody. No, get everybody on board. Say to your parents, I'm not spending. Say to your family, we've got to gather together and cut back. We're not going to have elaborate parties or big Christmases right now. We need to take care of ourselves and cut back. And you need everybody on board, and everybody individually, partners, everybody have to know that you're standing your ground. And then if you're doing this collectively, they all have to stand their ground, and you have to kind of um, keep each other in check. You have to make sure that you keep each other in check. And then you say, okay, this cash spending has to stop. We're going to make more of our meals at home, and we're going to plan what we're going to eat before we go to the grocery store. We're going to cut out the most expensive things, and we're going to try and monitor what we eat. We're going to be careful. We're going to look at our utilities and what our house is costing, whatever it is, your apartment, whatever. We're going to look at our utility bills, and we're going to say, we need to trim this back. And then you're going to take your credit card off the Amazon site or wherever your credit cards are stored, and you're going to be more deliberate in your spending. You're not going to just keep clicking and buying and clicking and buying. And you're going to say no to your children if they want something you can't afford, and you're going to sit them down and show them why. Explanations are excellent. Work through it. Talk about it. Is it uncomfortable? Absolutely. It stinks to have to talk about it, but you're going to have to gather people together and let them know you can't do it by yourself if you've got a bunch of people actually asking for more of you than you can give. And, that's not fair. If you can't take that trip, you can't take that trip. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say no and give them the reason why. Don't make up a story. Don't pretend that it's something else. Don't say you're sick. Say, you know what? I don't have the funds to do this. I'm telling you, it'll empower you when it comes to all these other areas. And you might have a low income or want to save money, but I can tell you, under the circumstances, under the things that I've said, you could probably save $50 a month. And if you say you are stretched to the limit, then work through it till you can get to this place. It is hard. I'm on your side. It is tough to have all this debt. It is tough to not be able to do the fun things of life. It is really, really not fun, but it's okay. Maybe if you read historically about what people went through during the Great Depression and understood the sacrifices people made during World War I and II, and during the times when things weren't so easy, and maybe you'd get more of a historical look at how people survived when they didn't have everything they wanted, or indeed couldn't even get the things they needed. So we have a history in this country of pulling together, and we have gotten away from being honest. And honesty is number one. You have to say it out loud. I don't have the money to do these things. I don't have the money to go to Disneyland. I don't have the money to go out to dinner all the time. I can't go to bars and drink. I don't have the funds to get a new car. I'm barely hanging on to the car I have. It's okay to say that out loud, and it's okay to live your life in a less provocative way. It's okay to scale back. Please understand that if you hang around with people that make those judgments against you about not having money, then you're probably in the wrong crowd or you haven't been honest enough with them. If they care, they'll support you. And I'm here to support you. I did write a book, and it's called The Common Sense Guidebook to Mastering Your Money, All the Things You Were Never Taught as a Child. It's on Amazon, but don't buy it if you're strapped for cash. Only buy it if it's not very expensive. And if you buy it, it'll give you a lot of tips about budgeting and how to figure out what you need to live every day. I think people do a lot of things like that where they go, I live paycheck to paycheck, but there's usually 14 days in between those paychecks and no one sees what they need. Oh, when I wake up tomorrow, how much money do I need? And when I wake up the next day, how much money I need? I go into that in this book. And please, like I said, do not buy this book if you are strapped for cash or whatever. I'm not asking you to. I'm saying I did write a book on this very subject, and it will help you, I think, understand what might trigger your spending to where you are right now and in a problem, or it might help you plan your day. That's what I want to do. It's my passion. I've been around a long time. I just turned 70, and this is my passion. It's absolutely my passion, and I want to help you. So, in conclusion, be honest, gather the people around you that mean the most to you, get them on board with your plan. Um, Try and climb out of that debt slowly. Do not be embarrassed by it. Take some of the steps I mentioned to kind of curb the spending and keep that under control while you're trying to work out of your situation. Um, get good roommates, share expense, cut back. Those are the things we have to do in times of money distress. So I'm here to help. My name's Robin Da Vinci. My website is robindavinci.com. I have a lot of tips on the website about money and money management. And I'm boots on the ground level. I'm not one of those finance guys who says, "Oh, if you have 500,000, invest with me." I'm talking about people who don't have $500. I'm on your side. So take good care. Go to my website for help, and I'm here. So thank you very much for listening, and I'll be back.